with a dynamic career spanning more than 17 years in her latest role as the Chief Communications Officer at the Office of University Communications.
Successful launch of the Asia's first digital orthopedic suite. We had a staggering 80% placement in corporate hospitals. Are exposed to the VUCA world very early in life. VUCA environment.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I'm Sunny Pancholi, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. We have one such industry titan on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Ms. Ritu Nag, a renowned professional with a dynamic career spanning more than 17 years. She possesses a diverse set of skills, including administration, business development, corporate social responsibility, skill training and education, unit operations, facility management, in addition to brand strategy, media and marketing, public relations, and enterprise communication. Her extensive experience across renowned corporate brands in healthcare and education, including Fortis Healthcare, Max Healthcare, Tech Mahindra Foundation, and Chitkara University, reflects her expertise and leadership capabilities. Throughout her career, she has forged strategic partnerships with industry stakeholders, government officials, and thought leaders, demonstrating her ability to navigate complex environments and drive organizational growth. In her latest role as the Chief Communications Officer at the Office of University Communications, Chitkara University, Punjab, she has led comprehensive university communication strategies, enhancing brand visibility and reputation. Welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, Ms. Ritu.
Thank you so much, Sunny.
So to begin with, could you provide an overview of your career journey leading up to your latest role as Chief Communications Officer at Chitkara University?
Yeah, sure, Sunny. And first of all, thank you for that very kind introduction. I would call myself very fortunate, enough to have worked in diverse fields for around 17 years. I've been able to span the fields of healthcare, education, skill training, in domains like strategic brand management, corporate social responsibility, and administration. And before I talk about myself, Sunny, I would actually like to, extend my heartfelt gratitude to all these organizations and the senior management for the support and trust they always placed in me, because of which I was able to, do what I could do, and all the teams that always held my hand. So I started my corporate journey with Fortis Hospital Mohali, which is the flagship hospital of the chain of Fortis Healthcare, as you probably would be knowing. And it was then the largest private corporate chain in the country. I was fortunate to have started my career in such a robust brand. It was truly gratifying. The hospital is spread around 8 acres of land, and it hosts one of the most modern and state-of-the-art infrastructure. So as Deputy Manager Media and Communication, it was a completely front-facing role, wherein my job was to give boost to the various facets of the organization, be it clinical engagement activities, public corporate activities, BTL, ATL activations, specialty-led campaigns, all for focused on increasing footfall and visibility. Public relations was a major part of what I was doing, licensing for corporate, workshops, conceptualization, execution. The foundation had initiatives like the Fortis Foundation had initiatives like dialysis support group, which was called Sahayak. We had a cancer support group, which was called Sarthak. Chetna was an initiative for the girl child. Just naming a few. Friends of Fortis program for ex-patients of the hospital. My job role, it entailed licensing with senior citizens associations, RWAs, NGOs, Rotary clubs, government departments, and allied organizations. Corporate social responsibility activities in collaboration with Fortis Foundation were there, and we used to hold health awareness programs, rural outreach programs. There were obviously Marcom activities, OPD ad campaigns, BRAD ad campaigns, specialty-led ad campaigns. So licensing with media, the press for doctor stories, for columns, patient stories, handling the website, newsline. it was a end-to-end kind of a role, which I feel very, very blessed and fortunate to be put into right at the beginning of my career. Because, here I learned the concept of corporate communication, about internal marketing. I learned the complexities of a healthcare organization and all that it entails. It was almost like one, got a bird's eye view of the entire corporate structure. After that, I shifted to Max Healthcare as regional head media and branding. I was asked, or I was tasked to set up the brand promotion and media communication department. So at that time, Sunny, Max had just been launched in 2011, and 2013 is when I joined them. It was doing very well, but it was at its initial stages and it needed a lot of brand visibility. I was taken in as head of media and communication and asked to spearhead this department. I was responsible for setting up various policies and SOPs. What I had learned in my previous organization, I got an opportunity to, put that to use. So whatever I had learned in depth had to be executed with results. And I would again like to reiterate here that the leadership that you work with makes a quantum of difference to your output and creativity, to your growth chart. Your trajectory is actually defined by you, how you've been molded in the initial stages of your career. So later on, I was happily and very, it's very gratifying that I was promoted as regional head of media and branding, overseeing the Bhatinda Hospital as well. But of course, the main focus was always on Mohali. I was overseeing the work at Bhatinda and working out of Mohali. Here was my first brush with Max India Foundation. That is the CSR wing of Max Healthcare. It was led by a very dynamic lady called Mohini Daljit Singh. And some of the key initiatives that I remember, that we did in Max Hospital, Super Speciality Hospital, Mohali, was a successful launch of the Asia's first digital orthopedic suite, which was the first of its kind infrastructure that had come into the hospital pan Asia. We did extensive focus, sustained brand promotions for months together for the launch. And of course, stability of this suite. Apart from that, I was fortunate enough to have led the negotiations for critical tie-ups with, Chandigarh Golf Club, Panchkula Golf Club, North Country Mall for their medical centers. We set up medical centers in these places. Uh, we successfully negotiated for the acquisition of the coveted Madanpura Chowk. It was called the Madanpura Roundabout. It was very strategically located between these two very important, cities of Mohali and Chandigarh. It was a huge brand visibility exercise, and we did it in collaboration with MC Mohali. I also spearheaded numerous community-led programs, clinician engagement activities, specialty-led campaigns. Brand visibility was given a major boost because we collaborated with Mohali Municipal Corporation projects as well. There was extensive, widespread media coverage in the Tri-City, as well as strategic locations in HP, Haryana, Jammu and Kashmir. So we were focusing the entire of North India, month on month. At that time, if you remember, Sunny, the digital media had not really taken over. Of course, there was online media for sure, but there was more focus on print and electronic media. So that is where our entire strategies used to be based. We promoted and launched new clinical programs like Department of Vascular Surgery, Liver Clinic, Fibroid Clinic. I remember the Spine and Trauma Clinic was given a huge boost. It was launched there at Max Hospital. After that, I shifted gears. I wanted to, after having spent 11 years in hardcore healthcare, I wanted to shift my focus to corporate social responsibility. And that is when I was, very, very fortunate to have been taken over as director of Tech Mahindra SMART Academy for Healthcare Mohali, which is the direct implementation program of Tech Mahindra Foundation, which is the CSR wing of Tech Mahindra Limited. So I was overall responsible for providing leadership in operation, administrative aspects of the institution, streamlining processes like HR, admin, commercial functions such as budgeting, purchase, etc. The wider role included handling critical areas such as community mobilization, internships, placements. We had to work a lot in updating accreditations, memberships of various bodies, renewal of accreditations. There was monitoring, ensuring quality training at the academy, which was like a mandate, because it was a skill training institute. It is a skill training institute. and enhancing the benchmark to meeting international standards. A lot of my work revolved around improving and formulating various policies and standard operating procedures while ensuring implementation of the compliance there. And I was assisting in licensing for collaborations, internships, accreditations with government departments, NGOs, corporate bodies, knowledge partners, employers, and firms. After that, I wanted to work in startups. I was very fascinated by the world of entrepreneurship. And post this, I had the opportunity of working in 2 startups. I was taken in as Vice President, Brand Strategy and Business Development at Zorgers Home Healthcare. Zorgers Home Healthcare is a home healthcare brand. It is a unit of MediHealth Technologies Private Limited. I was entrusted with the key responsibility of strategizing, executing business development and expansion plans. If you remember, COVID had struck at that time, and home healthcare had become very big. So there was a lot of expansion in that area, and it showed a lot of promise as well. My role, included defining and streamlining organization processes with a clear focus on outcomes. Revenue optimization was obviously there. Overall brand management, B2B tie-ups. I remember some of the key initiatives, that were taken was we initiated the channel for franchisee development. Initially, Zorgers Home Healthcare was focused in Chandigarh. We hadn't expanded beyond that. So during my tenure there, we initiated channels for franchisee development and promoted business expansion beyond the Tri-City. The first franchisee was launched in Delhi NCR in October of 2021. Detailed franchisee launch plans were created, independent franchisee networks were opened. Apart from that, a major step was formulation of the advisory and clinical boards. Because, the advisory boards were something that represented a cross-section of outstanding leaders from various industries, not only clinical, but non-clinical as well. And we were very lucky to have been endorsed by one of the very influential think tanks of North India. Onboarding of key senior clinicians and doctors was important to accentuate business flow. And there was a very major focus on offline visibility and offline revenue contribution. Online was coming, but we had to focus a lot on offline. We were successful in onboarding tertiary and secondary care institutions and hospitals. Some of them, are Apollo Clinics, which is still there, Alchemist Hospital, Ojas Hospital, ACE Heart and Vascular Institute, and Landmark Hospital. We did a lot of brand building and corporate events, press conferences, etc. There's a complete revamp of all digital and social media channels. We used innovative marketing techniques for the flow to increase. I remember we established a pharmacy, chemist license across the Tri-City, which was not there immediately. Led human resource tie-ups with institutions because I think was a major issue. We were not getting the right kind of candidates. Home healthcare was a very sensitive area of work. We needed very qualified, very dedicated staff. So I led the human resource tie-ups with institutions such as Tech Mahindra SMART Academy for healthcare, from where we used to outsource our staff, Francis Newton Nursing Home in Farid. There was a awareness of competitive offerings, and we worked very hard to strategize our work there. After that, I joined as Senior Vice President, Strategic Brand Management in a company called Swasth Kare. I was solely responsible for the brand strategy and the business development pan India for a product called Seraseal. Now, what is Seraseal? Seraseal is the world's first and only primary hemostatic agent, which was coming into India. So it was developed at Workman Laboratories by Dr. Workman, but it had made an entry into India as a first timer. So I was fortunate enough to have front-led the brand building and marketing activities for business growth, accentuation across the country. The execution was from bottom up. It was from the baseline because we did not have anything to fall back upon, no reference points at all. It was a US-based company and it was starting operations in India for the first time. Seraseal was proudly featured in the Hindustan Times Business and Entrepreneur Awards of 2022. Then I took over, and my last stint was that of a Chief Communications Officer at the Office of University Communication at Chitkara University. Chitkara University, as we all know, is a premier higher education institute. So I moved on to pure education with some 24 students, studying at any one given point of time. It was an absolute privilege. The Chitkaras are they're very graceful people and they're very visionary in their outlook. I was overall responsible for the university communications, which entailed brand communication, marketing communication strategies, digital social media strategies, offline marketing, brand building, reputation management, regulatory crisis, and communication management. So this, Sunny, in a nutshell, is my overall work experience for close to 17 years.
Ms. Ritu, thank you for the excellent start to this interview. And I must say, your career journey is truly inspiring.
Thank you so much, Sunny. That's so kind of you.
So continuing our conversation, Ms. Ritu, you have spearheaded several initiatives aimed at brand building, community engagement, and business expansion. So can you share an initiative or project you have spearheaded with remarkable achievements?
Sunny, it will be a little ungraceful to say that, remarkable achievements myself, but I would say that I did think I did contribute a lot and I contributed significantly, and I feel a sense of pride in saying that. In my tenure in Max Hospital or Max Healthcare, I was collaborating and assisting in all CSR activities of the foundation, like I said earlier. We had awareness session camps and, cancer and diabetes, for cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, etc. There were cancer awareness and screening camps across Punjab. I was a part of all of that. There were close to 90,000 patients who have been treated and given free medicine at that time. I'm giving you a figure of, when I was working in Max Healthcare. The treatment and sponsorship of high-end surgeries used to happen, pediatric surgeries, etc. I remember this huge artificial limb and polio caliper camps that we did in village Sohana, in which had a footfall of, say, about 250 people who needed calipers. I remember having inaugurated, of course, with the CEO of Tech Mahindra Foundation, an underground sewage drainage line in village rail Majra. That was my first and brush with CSR. But I think when I came into Tech Mahindra Foundation, that was a completely different kind of CSR. The KRAs were very clearly defined performance parameters. And I thoroughly loved it. It was a very, very well structured, manner of working. I remember optimum budget utilization, optimum recovery of OPEX. These are some of the KRAs that were, we had to perform in that area. Streamlining of administrative functions, developing and managing budgets, ensuring financial systems, etc. were followed. That was a part of what we were doing. But optimal utilization of physical assets, optimal capacity utilization, manpower utilization. We had to focus in areas such as per beneficiary cost, of the beneficiaries. Optimization, reduction in training cost per hour. Contributing to policy and planning was there. We had to increase the number of female admissions to more than 50%. These were all mandated by the organization. I remember some of the achievements, since you've talked of, remarkable achievements in your question, but I think some of the achievements which had an outcome and an impact, for our affiliations, for our job role affiliations by Health Sector Skill Council, we call it HSSC. We had clubbed the phlebotomy and the MLT labs. We had clubbed the EMT and the BSL, the emergency medical technician and BSL labs were clubbed for EMT and GDA job role affiliation. We consciously worked towards increasing in outstation and OGT placements and tie-ups. Student referrals actually went from 6% to 14% in 2020. It showed the health of the organization was improving. Student referral is like a testimony to what you're doing. CSR objectives while we were working had to be met in all areas of education and employability. Optimum student admin staff ratio, student academic staff ratio, average batch size had to be increased. We had to ensure that there was optimal utilization of the space. One classroom could manage 30 students. So our target would be 30, not less than that. We used to target for 100% pass out ratio for both TMF certification and Health Sector Skill Council certification. I was very fortunate that during my tenure, we managed to launch the Tech Mahindra SMART Academy for digital technologies. Now, digital was coming about in a big way at that time. We were fortunate to have launched the graphic designing course, the web development course, digital marketing course, and UI course. Some of the key initiatives, Sunny, were also tie up with SRL Labs. SRL Labs is one of the top brands in diagnostic services. This was for our DMLT students' internships and placements. So our endeavor was that, if we tie up with a brand of good repute, our students will get good internship and placement opportunities. They'll get a good exposure. We also launched the Health Sector Skill Council Certified Hospital Hygiene course, which was a 14-day course, never happened before. This was to cater to unemployment during COVID. We had a staggering 80% placement in corporate hospitals with very competitive salary packages. I can't give out the numbers to you, but I can say that was very, very gratifying. There was a substantial increase in the average salary overall. With a lot of negotiations with hospitals, we were able to do that. We managed to get skill certification for GDA, phlebotomy, EMT basic roles. Brand visibility was strengthened because we had robust relations with healthcare providers, government officials, Safai Mazdoor cells, Rotary clubs. National Commission for Safai Karamchari is one organization we were liaising with, MC Mohali, Kharad, social welfare departments of the Chandigarh administration. We re-strengthened our engagement with opinion leaders, Anganwadi workers, ASHA workers. These were the players who were actually giving us deserving students. I remember outstation placements was a big issue. Reason being that children would come from outstation, say from Baddi, Ludhiana, Patiala, to study in our institutions. Now, after having completed this, they would want to go back to their native place and work there. That's not happening initially. So we expanded and forayed into outstation placements. Ludhiana, Patiala, Pathankot. We started our footprints there. We started collaborating with tertiary care hospitals for practical sessions of students. We placed GDAs in an organization called Home Healthcare, which was not happening earlier, which gave us one of the highest salary packages to our students. Apart from that, it was very important to, get corporate sponsorships. This being a CSR program, sponsorships was very important. We managed to do that. And at the end of my tenure, I can say this very proudly that we had licensed with some 84 hospitals. There were some 10 tie-ups done outstation in the areas of Himachal and Punjab. An average child was getting an offer of 2 to 3 placements per student, even during the pandemic. Excellence in training was very important, and it came out that about 66% of our students in the Operation Theatre course opted for higher studies. So it was extremely gratifying.
Ms. Ritu, that sounds really incredible. All right. So, building on to that, are there any common principles, values, etc., that you have lived by that have helped you with every work role you have spearheaded?
Sunny, I attribute all my principles, my virtues, whatever I am today, to my defense services background. I've been very fortunate to have an armed forces background. I am a daughter of a Air Force officer. And, when you're when you're growing up in a defense background, integrity and resilience kind of get deeply ingrained in your DNA. And one thing that we learn through all our life experiences is resilience through uncertainty. In the armed forces, we are faced with inherent uncertainty. There's a constant flux of deployments, relocations, safety of our soldiers is always an issue. Perhaps, we are the true inhabitants of the VUCA world. This VUCA term has come into being recently after COVID. But I think army families and, defense forces families are exposed to the VUCA world very early in life. VUCA environment, it helps you to cultivate resilience. Coping up with the uncertainty or unpredictability of military life, you learn to adapt to very frequent and sometimes very incoherent changes. Resilience becomes like second nature. And we learn to navigate through life's challenges, guided by belief. The belief that all will be well. To remain steadfast in the face of challenges, frequent relocations, cultivate this ability to adapt to new environments and to social circles. All of this has really had an impact on my professional career. My background has helped me dramatically and significantly, in my professional career. Adaptability proves to be invaluable. When you're navigating your career transitions, you're seizing new opportunities, nurturing very meaningful relationships. And there's a lot of power in solidarity. When the troops are out to fight for your country, despite the demands and sacrifices of military life, families of army officers, they find a lot of strength in unity. Especially in field postings, families normally unite to wade over challenges. You give strength to each other. And during times of separation or transition, camaraderie is what helps you sail through. And with shared experiences, mutual assistance, a support network is created that transcends geographical boundaries. So I would attribute a lot, of, you said common principles. I would attribute a lot of it to my defense forces or armed forces background. Thank you.
Rightly said, Ms. Ritu. All right. So moving ahead, we have observed that you have been awarded many times in different forums. One of them being a national award for outstanding achievements for promoting medical and health. Also, you are on the executive committee of many national level forums such as NIPM, PRCI, and SHM. So, what is your contribution in these forums, and how do you think you have made an impact on society at large?
Yeah, thank you, Sunny. So I was very fortunate to have been awarded the prestigious PRSI award for outstanding initiatives for promoting medical and health at the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar International Convention Center in New Delhi. This was their 45th edition of the conference, and I was very fortunate to have been awarded personally by Dr. Ajit Pathak, who's the national president of PRSI. PRSI stands for Public Relations Society of India. Also present on the stage was Professor Dhruba Pati, who's the Dean and Director of India Today Institute. Apart from that, Deputy Trade Commissioner of the Australian Embassy was also there. The PRSI awards, Sunny, these are national awards that recognize, commendable achievements in categories, some of which include, the prestigious publications, sustainable development reports, best communication campaign, and G20 programs as well. And this organization has some 25 chapters, and they mainly work around building public opinion, using communication tools on national and social issues. They promote, skills of PR and communication, and they serve the PR fraternity. PR is public relations fraternity of the country. They've also led campaigns like media transparency drive, anti-terrorism movements, ethics in, political communication. PRSI is also the founder member of Global Alliance. So it also has a global, network. Global Alliance of Public Relations and Communication Management, as well as the International Public Relations Association. After that, I was very, very fortunate to have been awarded the Chanakya Award for Corporate Branding by Public Relations Council of India. This was held at the Excellence Award in the 17th Global Communication Conclave held in September of 2023. PRCI is a pan-India communication exchange forum. It has, footprints in about 38 Indian cities. And they basically deal in Marcom, researchers, industry professionals are drawn to the public relations, corporate communication, media and advertising, academic professionals, educationals, researchers. They also offer accreditation to professionals in this particular stream. And internationally, PRCI is also promoting a global platform called World Communicators Council, WCC. World Communicators Council, it brings together all communication professionals on one global platform. It's like a network to share ideas and experiences. I was also fortunate, Sunny, to be awarded by the Media Federation of India in 2019 for the contribution in the field of community welfare. And MFI, as they call it, it's a body for and of the journalists of the country. It has presently about 15K members. And the main idea is to benefit and support media professionals to strengthen the knowledge transformation process. And members of these organizations are primarily journalist organizations, foundations, and many prominent societies of journalists are also associated with MFI. The Federation has close bonds with working journalists, publishers of newspapers and magazines, professionals from news channels, and social and digital media. And a lot of work that they do, revolves around seminars, business summits, and they kind of fill the gap between media industry and academy. So this is the Media Federation of India. And I was also awarded the Woman of Substance Award on International Women's Day by Chandigarh Management Association at CII Northern Headquarters. Uh, Chandigarh Management Association is a subsidiary of All India Management Association, which I think all of us know is the apex body of management professionals in India. AIME is a non-profit kind of a body. It's a non-lobbying body, and it works very closely with industry, government, academia, and students. It also gives a postgraduate diploma in management. Some of my memberships, Sunny, include that, I have been appointed as the committee head of the Chandigarh UT Development Council, ASSOCHAM. I'm also a member of the ASSOCHAM Regional Council for Women Empowerment. So when I was appointed as the community head, I was assigned the task of representing the healthcare sector for ASSOCHAM and leading the sector initiatives. ASSOCHAM, as we would all know, it works hand in hand with government, institutions, industries, and think tanks, to enhance economic growth, sustainability, digitization, empowerment, and entrepreneurship. And they work, ASSOCHAM works around, policy advocacy, industrial strength, and government advisory, especially here in UP Chandigarh. So I have been very fortunate to have been, given this very coveted position. Sunny, I'm also the office bearer of the National Institute of Personnel Management. I'm in the executive committee member. I'm also a member of board of mentors at Punjab's Startup Mission for their incubator program. Now, talking about National Institute of Personnel Management, it's the Punjab chapter. It's a body devoted to the development of HR professionals in human resource management, in industrial relations, labor welfare. This too, it was established in 1980 and it has about 53 chapters across the country. And NIPM was actually formed by the merger of the erstwhile IIPM, Indian Institute of Personnel Management, and NILM, and it's headquartered at Kolkata. NIPM is a member of International Industrial Relations Association of Geneva, as well as Asia Pacific Federation for Personnel Management. NIPM, where I work, it has a student chapter, and we are currently very active in 4 places. One is LM Thapar Institute of Management, CGC Landra, UIAMS, which is University Institute of Applied Management Sciences in Punjab University. A lot of work that we do, it revolves around workshops, holding national seminars. There's an HR conclave which is coming up in, November of this year itself. We work around areas of labor laws, legislations, compliances, POSH. There are a lot of team building workshops, taking place. I'm also a member of PhD CCI, PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, has a women's wing, which is called She Forum. This was, Sunny, this was just inaugurated about 3 months back. And PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we work in the, promotion of industry, trade, entrepreneurship. We interface with the government. There's research-based policy advocacy from the forum. Something that positively impacts the economic growth of the country. And the idea is to contribute to topical issues through expert committees and task forces. PhD CCI also has an advisory services to business and advisory role in policy formulation. So it's also advisory kind of forum. There are capacity building exercises and focused entrepreneurship and development programs. I also happen to be a member of CII, IWIN. It's called IWIN, Indian Women Network, of the Tri-City chapter. We all know that, CII, Confederation of Indian Industries, it works to create and sustain an environment which is conducive to development. So we partner with industry, government, civil society through advisory and consultative processes. IWIN was actually launched. The Women's Wing was launched in 2013. And it's a non-government, non-for-profit, industry-led and industry-managed organization. The goal of IVM is actually to create an environment where women can participate in business and society and reach to their full economic potential. Apart from that, Sunny, I'm a member of Punjabi Chamber of Commerce. I have been an associate member of TAI Chandigarh, and I'm a life member of CMA Chandigarh. I'm a member of Chandigarh Literary Society and Chandigarh Press Club. I'm also on the executive committee of Public Relations Council of India, that is PRCI, which I spoke about a few minutes back, the Chandigarh chapter. Thank you so much.
Amazing, amazing, Ms. Ritu. All right. So now that we have discussed your career journey, your professional pursuits, your roles and responsibilities, awards, accolades, and recognitions. All right. Let's move ahead and let's discuss and dive into the subject of ESG and corporate governance. So here is my question to you. What are some contributions you have made in CSR, and what is your take on ESG and corporate governance? That is part A. And as an ESG and corporate governance expert, what values do you bring to the table? Please.
See, the thing is, Sunny, we've seen how the environment around us is molding. It cannot be business as usual. Business as usual now is a thing of the past. Sustainable corporate governance, is what enables you to actually anchor, monitor, and manage sustainability in your company. This makes it the keystone of corporate sustainability. But of late, many companies have been a little reluctant to embark on this journey. This is often due to lack of understanding of what sustainable corporate governance is. Sustainability is seen as a very complex topic and it's like a worn out buzzword. But no, sustainability is not a worn out buzzword. In fact, it's going to be the buzzword, touted to be the buzzword till 2040. What is sustainable corporate governance? If you put it simply, sustainable corporate governance means a holistic and integrated system of corporate leadership, management, and supervision. That, number one, respects the environment, serves the common good, and keeps your company productive and impactful for a long term. Sustainable corporate governance, it aligns value creation with value. Reflecting on how profits are distributed while considering financial interests. See, the variables in our economic system are constantly changing. New ones are being added. Now, to keep pace with the hectic pace, to keep up with the hectic pace of change, companies need to rethink their leadership, their management, and their culture. We have to rethink and think about newer developments, regulation, preferences. We can successfully integrate sustainability into a company's leadership program. Sustainability is now a key criteria for leadership, management, and supervision. It is no longer it's not a matter of choice anymore. There is a maturity assessment, which allows us to find where exactly we are, regarding sustainable corporate governance. Tried and tested approaches, have to be thought about that we can use to introduce and refine our sustainable corporate governance systems. Tried and tested approaches to doing businesses that have usually been successful in the past may not have any relevance today because they might just become obsolete. And they might now, as of today, be unsustainable and no longer offer so much chance of success in the future. So when I look at it, Sunny, we are faced with three major issues. One is complexity, ambiguity, and insufficient accountability. These three factors are particularly important while tackling three challenges. What are those? Resilience, regulations, relevance. Sustainable corporate governance is a business model which is tailored to your stakeholders so that we align our value creation with values, reflect these values on how profits are distributed while taking financial interest into account, and develop a responsible strategies and operating models. Companies of late are often faced with a dilemma. They want to work sustainability. Nobody is denying that. But they are worried about the negative effects on turnover and profits.
Exactly.
It's always conflict versus business. The conflict is business versus ESG. The key lies in enabling everyone and getting them involved. It has to be a very comprehensive approach. Even your pay structures, your incentives, collaborations, all need a rethinking. It has to be a bottom-up approach. The sustainable corporate governance has basically, four levels of ambition. If we define it in terms of a company, an organization, or a corporation. One is the conformist, who's focused on compliance. This is a legal requirement and it has to be compliant. All right. The second is the pragmatist, whose focus is on objectives. They're focused on financial returns and they recognize that efficient processes that conserve resources can be an effective means to this end. But they will only use the processes which are financially viable. This is the pragmatist. The third is the strategist, who's focusing on success. Now, what do companies need? Companies need two things. One is human resource and material resource. We all know that these are increasingly in short supply. What does a strategist company do? They understand that they can only succeed in the long term if these resources are maintained. And last and not the least, which is very, very aspirational, is the visionary. A visionary company is intrinsically motivated. Visionaries consider themselves to be a part of this global environment, social and economic ecosystem, and they reflect their understanding in their processes, systems, and management. So that should be, what we are looking at, what we are trying to achieve as an end. I would define, approaches to sustainable corporate governance through three systems, or there could be three approaches. One is throughout a management system. Second is with a dedicated department. And third is being integrated into the corporate purpose. And there are many factors which will define which approach is right for your particular company. One shoe doesn't fit all. It depends on the maturity level of the company, its purpose. But a start has to be made. Now let's talk about ESG reports. See, what are ESG reports? Talk about BRSR reports. What are ESG reports? ESG reports are reports to monitor or rather they are reports for impact assessment, and they are not a tool for disclosure. Nowadays, the qualitative measure of a company's performance is actually measured by the performance of a board. You would be very amused to know that now it's called the Green Board of Directors, where green practices are followed. There are green alliances. E doesn't stand for environment, it stands for executive compensation, which will depend on the success of the ESG. S stands for shareholder wealth, which will again be linked to ESG rating. G stands for governance, of course, a social cause, performance of the brand, of the board. BRSR reporting, as I mentioned earlier, is a business responsibility and sustainability reporting. Business reporting disclosures are going to be now more meaningful to the idea of sustainability. We all know BRSR has about 9 principles, and 2 each attribute to environment and governance, and 5 are for social. So what is it that we need to do as a company, as an organization? The culture has to be inward looking. The composition, of the ESG committees. The corporate governance is outward looking, but ESG is inward looking. The communication part, corporate governance has rational communication. ESG has an emotional communication. Corporate culture can both be a hindrance and help when it comes to sustainable transformation. But Sunny, I would end my, sharing my thoughts with you by saying that sustainability is the new profitability, and we will have to fall in line. Thank you.
Absolutely. Rightly said, Ms. Ritu. And thank you for sharing such amazing insights into ESG and corporate governance subject. All right, let's move ahead and let's discuss technology and its impact on your professional landscape. So here is my question to you. What changes do you expect to see with the advent of IoT, AI, ML, blockchain, big data, Web 3.0, digital twin, cloud, etc., etc.?
Yeah, thank you, Sunny. Technology, you said in the question, how it has impacted my area of work. I would say technology has penetrated practically every industry and every area of work. I'm sure you would agree with me. Now,
Absolutely.
talking of Web 3.0, what is Web 3.0? It's the next generation of internet. It uses a combination of technologies to provide personalized content and services to an individual user. What are these technologies? Some of which you named in your question. One is artificial intelligence. There's a lot of buzz, lot of talk about it, as you know. What does artificial intelligence do? It analyzes user data, preferences, and contextual information. What is machine learning? It's a subset. It is used to train software models to make predictions and generate content from data. Blockchain, which is used to enable trust through mathematical means. We've heard of blockchains in the cryptocurrency, especially bitcoins, etc. Internet of Things. Internet of Things are used to connect variable devices to other devices and the internet. Then we talk of big data. Big data is what? These are larger sets of data which are much more complex, and they come to you in huge volumes. What is cloud? It's a global network of servers that operates as a single ecosystem. Now, Sunny, these technologies are without a doubt, reshaping the way we interact with the digital world. They are offering limitless opportunities to us for more engaging and newer experiences. Web 3.0 refers to that next generation of internet, which will be more seamless, more personalized experience for users. They will deliver personalized content and services tailored to individual users. They will achieve this, Web 3.0 will achieve this through technologies including blockchain, which I spoke about, decentralized networks, and smart contracts. What will happen? The user experience will improve dramatically. There'll be more efficiency. We'll be able to foster innovation. It will be a more democratic and inclusive web. There'll be more control and ownership over the data. The user can participate more actively in creating and sharing content. There'll be more relevant and customized experiences. The greatest impact will be that on e-commerce, where personalized recommendations can lead to a better engagement and higher sales. Now, if you look at the journey of Web 1.0 to Web 3.0, or Web 3.0, as the millennials call it these days, decentralization is a key to Web 3.0. How information and power are distributed across networks rather than be concentrated in the hands of a few dominant players. We often hear of, say, Twitter bringing down somebody's handle, or Facebook might just decide to shut down services for a day or two, because the concentration is in the hand of few dominant players. Now, technologies such as blockchain, it allows for secure transactions. There'll be a lot of use of decentralized applications, which are called DApps or DApps as they call it. Smart contracts will be independent of traditional intermediaries. Now, technologies are in any case leading the way with augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. Augmented reality and virtual reality, we all understand what they are. What is mixed reality? It's a blend of two. It's the next level. User can interact with digital objects and environments while in their real life surroundings. And the integration of IoT devices to Web 3.0 is limitless. It is actually, revolutionizing the way we are interacting with physical objects on the web. It's a transformative technology. It is driving innovation and economic growth to a huge extent. By utilizing blockchain technology and decentralized networks, users are given full control over the data. There is no central authority or middleman who can access or manipulate your information. What will this ensure? This will ensure greater privacy and security. So there'll be less of data breaches, and privacy concerns will be far less in today's age. You would have heard of decentralized autonomous organizations. They use algorithms which can analyze vast amount of data, including voting patterns, community sentiments, and enable decentralized decision-making and governance. This will facilitate greater transparency and autonomy in the decision-making process, allowing for a more informed and fair system. We have AI-powered recommendation systems, which is a norm these days. The algorithms enable websites and applications to analyze the user data, including the behavior, preferences, interactions, and provide a more personalized content recommendations. Natural language processing is a revolutionary technology that enables machines to understand human language. Imagine, they are able to analyze NLP, what it is called, is able to analyze text, speech, and language data, including machine learning and deep learning. AI-driven predictive analysis is again a cutting-edge technology. Algorithms can make predictions and provide actionable insights that can alter business decisions. You imagine what it can do in the finance sector. It can be used to anticipate market trends, identify investment opportunities. We have personalized assistants or virtual assistants. Everybody knows that. We have AI-enhanced data verification, which will detect and mitigate fraudulent activities. It will enhance overall integrity of the decentralized web. But like every good thing, this too has a flip side. There are challenges of Web 3.0 and artificial intelligence. As these emerging technologies they continue to evolve, the policy and legal frameworks will need to evolve in parallel. That has to happen. Because while I was enumerating the positives of, Web 3.0, we have to understand that the strengths can also become the weaknesses. There could be privacy concerns. Vast amount of data, collected by AI-powered applications can raise concerns about data protection and ownership. Security could be a major challenge. We could be faced with new vulnerabilities. Cyber security. There could be ethical considerations. We have to be very careful about avoiding the risk of perpetuating existing inequalities. Data integrity, reliability could be a very major thing. Now, smart contracts, about which I spoke a few minutes back, they are vulnerable to coding flaws and security breaches. They can sometimes, if not handled in the best of hands, can result in significant financial loss or even exploitation. So the regulatory framework and governance models are facing new challenges. The decentralization of these technologies do raise questions about data ownership, liability, and even consumer protection. Policy and legal framework, they need to evolve in parallel. Regulatory policies will have to be more adaptable, more flexible. And there is a major need for collaboration between stakeholders such as governments, corporations, industry, bodies to develop frameworks for the responsible ethical implementation of Web 3.0. Web 3.0 and artificial intelligence integration are poised to usher in a new era of unprecedented innovation, even disruption. But it will come added with some inherent challenges, that need to be looked at. So that's my take on technology.
Rightly said, Ms. Ritu. All right, so this brings us to the last question of the session, and here it is. We are building a community of industry magnates. The move is made for cross-pollination of knowledge and building a knowledge-sharing community of corporate giants and industry experts. So what are your thoughts about these initiatives taken by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the team of World Development Corporation?
Sunny, this is my most favorite question in what you've asked. I think, World Development Corporation is doing a tremendous job. They are doing an excellent job, in raising the bar in everything that they're doing. I think practically because I keep going on to the, to the modules and looking at them practically every day. Everything is going through an evolution. I mean, my compliments to the team led by Zishan Pathan and Heval Mehta. In fact, I've sent them personalized messages congratulating them. That this is perhaps an initiative, Sunny, which is unparalleled. My compliments to the team, the way they're handling it. It's a robust organization. All of you are doing great service to this country, to the world by bringing about this very, very fantastic, set of modules and raising the bar in every which way. I think I'll get a little more emotional if I speak so much.
All right.
And
Okay.
my last, input is that Zishan is a fantastic orator. The way he explains the modules to you is so endearing. You feel that you're talking to him and he's sitting to you he's sitting with you right next to you.
Indeed, he is. He is a fantastic orator, I guess. All right. Okay. And as you said, we keep the best for the last. So that's why this is the last.
My heartfelt compliments to the team, and may you grow from strength to strength.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And it was fantastic conversing with you. And I'm confident that your insights will inspire future leaders. Thank you once again, Ms. Ritu Nag, for joining us today. And we wish you the best for your future endeavors. Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute has unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds.